Good morning. I'm a little late, but what are we best at? Being fashionably late. Good morning. Um, I do, in my compassion, want to apologize if I went in a little bit too much yesterday. Just bear with me. This breakup is still new, and I still feel a lot of different emotions behind it, which is why I take my time with it. And feeling those emotions is a search for understanding. I may not always arrive at a conclusion, but it's still a search for understanding, nevertheless. I have decided in my adulthood, in my womanhood, that the minimal requirement to maintain access to me is reciprocation. I know everyone loves different, excuse me, everyone has a different definition of what love is and how relationships should be. I think that's probably solely based on the individual couple, how they tailor their relationship. But one thing for sure is I've learned that at the minimum, my efforts and my resources have to be reciprocated at the minimum. I am no longer interested in being a one sided relationship. Funny thing about one sided relationships, for me at least, I did not realize that it was one sided while I was in it. It wasn't until things started going sour that I realized it was one sided. While I was in it, I just felt like I was doing what I needed to do as a woman, as a lover, as a friend, as a significant other. When I began to hurt too much, hurt consistently, searching for understanding of why am I experiencing this, that's when I began to realize that there's one of the reasons is because now this is accountability. One of the reasons is because I'm so busy doing, pouring, giving, trying to make sure that he's okay. He's not reciprocating. And I came to that conclusion because I kept asking myself, if I'm doing this for him, why I'm not okay? Why am I here crying? What about the situation is making me so frustrated that I want to cry? Like, I would ask myself questions because, baby, let me tell you something about accountability. Accountability is hoard. Okay, it's hoard. It's hoard. It's hoard. Okay, it's hoard. Let me tell you why it's hard. Nobody really wants to do it. And nobody really wants to do it or get it done because you don't want to look in the mirror and have to tell yourself that certain things took place because of your doing, either your neglect or your ignorance or your enabling. Like, nobody wants to fucking do that. Nobody wants to look in the mirror and say, you know what? Part of the reason the relationship started failing is because of you, because you allowed, you know? But that's one of the bonuses about being alone and spending time with yourself is that in taking accountability, you don't have to look around anywhere else and wonder who's watching to laugh and point fingers or to judge. It's only you in that damn mirror. And I don't mean mirror in literal sense, although you can take it in a literal sense. But I mean, it's just you reflecting about the part that you played in the demise of your relationship. Because it's totally impossible to place the blame in one specific place. You cannot say that everything is his fault. I can't blame Mr. Jeter for everything because I enabled a lot of behaviors, even though it was coming from a good place, even though I was pure with my intent. I enabled a lot. It's just, I don't know, I think it's just ironic how we enable what we consider to be good behavior patterns and support. And a lot of men, not all, a lot of men form of enabling is, well, I'm gonna think of some shit to do. And whatever it's gonna be, it's gonna be. Or it just seems like, it just seems, as I stated in the beginning, it just seems so one-sided. It just seems so unfair. I keep revisiting this area just to remind myself of why I don't want to go back, why I don't want to revisit. Because I'm not saying that people can't change. I do believe that people can change because we change over the years. What concerns me is in which way are people changing? Are they evolving or are they dissolving? Are they living or are they dying? You have people literally walking around here. They are fucking mummies. They don't think, they don't feel, they don't, understand. And honestly, I think it's all because of their choosing. I'm gonna keep talking. I'm just gonna check my sausage because I am making breakfast. So I just wanna make sure my food is good, and my food is good, so I'm gonna turn it off. So, if he came back right now, right? And I know I do a lot of focusing. Maybe, I'm not really sure. I was thinking about that too last night. I wonder if I focus on what went wrong too much. But this is me. This is how I believe you go about setting healthy boundaries with yourself, how you go about protecting yourself and moving forward. Like you have to comb through some things. You can't just rush through it. And so it's not really me focusing on what went wrong per se, but it's me examining the things that went wrong so that hopefully futuristically I won't run into this problem again with anyone. See, that's one thing. I don't know if I can give credit. I don't know if that's the right word I'm using, but I will give Mr. G to that if it is a credit. I am not going to allow anyone else to have me experience what I experienced with him. He was the first, and he is going to be the last. This is not even tea. This is coffee. Grand Rising Royals. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day today. Keep yourself safe. And don't forget to meditate when you can. And you can meditate at any time. I used to listen to guided meditation because I didn't know how to meditate. I thought I didn't know how to meditate. I thought when you meditate, you had to sit still. And that's not the case. Meditation is keening in your focus on one particular thing to be able to make peace with it, to be able to get to a point of understanding, to be able to search for divine answers, to become one with the divine in a space so that you can gain some type of clarity and receive the answers in which you're seeking. What I've also come to find out about meditation is people can guide you with meditation, but they can't do it for you. And I found that I actually do meditate. I just don't do the traditional meditation. In this life, baby, you got to do what works for you. So once in the blue moon, I can actually sit down and try to align myself and take breaths and breathe and keen my focus in. But a lot of times I've taught myself unintentionally, but I've taught myself to meditate in movement, not sitting in one space. Now, no, I can't meditate at work. Uh-uh. The environment is too toxic, but I can meditate at home in movement. So when I'm cleaning and when I'm doing chores, I meditate. There's a certain music I listen to help relax me because sometimes my emotions are so high, it's difficult for me to relax. It's even difficult for me to breathe. So I do tune in on YouTube and listen to certain music that's calming. And I take a couple of breaths to allow the oxygen into my body, to inhale the love and the divine guidance and the acceptance from the guides to be able to get the answers in which I seek. And exhale the bullshit and get to a place where I can relax as I move around to allow the flow of positive energy. And that's how I meditate. And it works for me. And I hope it works for you. Now, I'm interested in solutions, most definitely. In my humanity, I just don't feel like you can arrive at solutions in haste. I feel like you have to give yourself time. You have to forgive yourself. You have to change your behavior. Meaning the only one you should be boundaryless. I'm not sure if I'm using that word correctly because in my ebonics, I tend to make up shit. So hopefully I am using it correctly. But the point is, the only one you can be boundless with is yourself. Forgive yourself. Search for more understanding within self. And if you want to set boundaries within for yourself, that's fine. You can do that. But if you're going to be boundaryless, the only exception is yourself. Everyone else outside of you needs boundaries. They need to understand how to treat you. Because a lot of people, no matter how we hold them to a high esteem, they don't know how to treat us or treat you because they don't even know how to treat themselves. Let me tell you something. I have been going through a lot. My friendships, my sisterhoods have been changing. Maybe changing due to me, but changing nonetheless. And they've been changing because I see that a lot of us, it's not the only thing we have in common, but one of the things, and I think it might even be a key factor, one of the things that we have in common is trauma. Experiences through relationships, traumatic experiences through relationships, right? And so my sister one time is was like going through something. At the time, I wasn't really, my relationship status was maybe like a void, because this is in the absence of Mr. Jeter. So I wasn't experiencing the things that she was experiencing. But in my spirituality, in me still trying to elevate myself, I know that she was going through a lot. And I kept showing up for her. And I would really and fully get so emotional about her situation. And then I had to take accountability and with myself and say, listen, you need to learn your place in people's life. What made me do that is because her situation became draining to me. I'm not even in the damn situation. But it's because I see what someone that I love is going through, and I feel like they're undeserving of going through it. And so it makes me take it personally. Then I started to say to myself, this is how the dynamic started changing. You need to find your place in people's life, because the conversations that you have, are you conversating to really listen, to hear her out? Or are you conversating or conversing or being a shoulder to just give feedback? Because that's part of what's draining you. And then she's not taking your advice into consideration, and that's draining, because she keeps arriving back at the same point looking for some type of change. There's no change going on. And then who the fuck are you to even offer advice? Did she even ask you for fucking advice? Maybe she just needed an ear. But you taking somebody else's situation personally is draining. And then she's pouring into this man that is being minimally reciprocal. But if she's constantly pouring into him, what is it that she can offer the sisterhood right now? Because when it comes a time that you need her, will she be able to be there for you in the way that she expects you to be there for her? If she's pouring all of her resources into someone else in hopes that he may change. Now, I'm not saying that, because women, we're great at multitasking. We can do a lot at one time. But it just made me say, you know what? When I need my friend, when I need all of her, will she be able to be present for me in that moment? Because all of her resources are going into trying to salvage a relationship that is really a relationship. Yeah. Relationships turn into relationships because the ship part of the relation is sinking. You get me? You get what I'm coming from? So she's trying to salvage this relationship with all of her resources, and I seen it hurting her and it's hurting me. And so what I had to do is I had to pull myself all the way back. I had to check myself and say, bitch, mind your motherfucking long titty nosy ass goddamn, in my Kevin Hart voice, business. Because you can show up for people and you can be there for people, even your sisters. But you have to choose how you be there for them and what defines being there for them in that moment. Sometimes they just need an ear. They don't need you to judge. They don't need your advice. They don't need you to exhaust yourself, because they need you at that time. And so I had to do some reevaluations and with my sisterhood, because I love my sister so much. I don't want us to be solely in a trauma bond. I don't want our traumatic relationship experiences to be the sole reason why we maintain a sisterhood. I don't want every time we get on the phone to be about what the nigga done did wrong. I want our conversations also to be uplifting, prayerful, motivational. I just don't want it to solely be about the negative aspect in which whatever it is that we're going through at that time. So I'm wanting now evolution in all of my relationships. I don't want my relationships to turn into relationships. I don't want that. So I had to take time out for me. I had to step away from certain sisters for a minute just to collect myself and remember who I am and try to find my own purpose and try to get to a space where I can be there for myself as well as be there for the ones that I love. That I have to be more cautious about how I pour and whom I pour into. I have to be careful of who, or we have to be careful on who we disperse our energy to. We have to set healthy boundaries, even for the ones that we love, because we need for the ones that we love, if we're going to keep them in our life, we need for them to understand how to treat us. Boundaries help with that. The elders used to say, you give a nigga an inch, he gonna take a mile. Well, that I've learned that is very true, and it doesn't only apply to men. It applies to women. And oftentimes when I say niggas, I'm replying to men and women. Yes, I am. Niggas to me is not gender based. All right. And if you speak to me or you tune into my page enough, you'll get to understand in which I'm talking about when it does become gender based. It's all about ebonics. And one thing about us, colorful, is that we understand ebonics very, very well. So I just wanted to open up this morning and say peace and blessings to y'all. And I just wanted to touch on a couple of things, and I apologize for being late, but you know, I gotta take my time with things. I can't rush through things, not even in separation. And you know what I don't do? I don't go back and watch previous YouTubes that I posted. I see a half an hour is coming up, and so I'm going to tie this up. I don't do that, but I think I need to do that because I feel like my topics be all over the place, and it be all over the place still because my emotions is still all over the place. And maybe if I go back and view some of the videos, I can mainly get to a point of focus and get to a focal point in these lives and just stay there for a minute. I think that might be better. But I didn't even start this channel for perfection. I started this channel to be an outlet for my emotions that I'm going through because of this breakup, and to hopefully find some type of solution in the community to be able to move forward, because it's hard. Even if the relationship was toxic, even if it turned toxic, I don't know why we as a people are so prone to negativity, but it's not as easy to get past toxicity or a toxic person. It is not. It's not. Way easier said than done. And I don't really know why that is. But it's not easy. I just know that excuse me. I just know that I have reached a point to me that was so low and demeaning and hurtful that I know I don't want to go back there. I don't want to revisit that space. That's why I don't want to revisit the relationship. And again, I don't mean that he's not capable of change. I'm quite sure that he is capable of change, but I just think it takes time. This is our life experience is a journey tailored to each individual life. And so, as much as I would love to take him with me and to get him on the same page so we can thrive in Black love, that is ideal, but it's not realistic. It's not my reality right now. My reality right now is that he has a lot of growing to do. And right now it's just not our season. We just can't be together. And I don't hate him. At one point I did. I absolutely did. But each day I get better with my emotions. Each day I get through the understanding. Because one thing I never ever wanted to do was I never wanted to hate anyone that I gave my body to, that I laid with, that I once shared my dreams and hopes with. I never wanted to be in that space. I just think that is a very bitter, very low vibrational, very oppositional space to be in. And I know that sometimes people make it hard. They make it fucking hard not to hate them. But in this healing, I've gotten to a place where I don't want to put my energy into negativity at all. And hate is negative. So the energy that I would have been putting into that, I can use to coast on my vibe. I can use it to elevate my vibe. I can use it towards myself, for lack of better words, before I go through all of that shit. It's just, I can use that, I can transmute that energy and use it for my greater good instead of putting it into something negative. I don't want to do that. So with that, we're coming up on a half an hour now. I don't want to take up any much more of your time. I want you guys to have a beautiful and safe and loving day. Whatever gets you through the day, baby, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of us for being able to wake up and start again, because some days you don't even want to get the fuck out of bed. Okay. Some days you don't even want to face the fucking world because the world is going to hell in a handbasket, as my grandmother would say. But the world needs us. That's the irony. Maybe even the balance of all of this shit. The world needs your positive energy or your high vibes in order to get through another day. Believe it or not, it absolutely is true. So I am proud of you and I'm proud of us for being able to wake up and go to war today. You know what I'm saying? And whatever we got to do to get through the motherfucking day, let's do it. I'm looking forward to meeting y'all back here later on. And that's about it for me for the morning. So I'm going to sit here and look at the beautiful trees and stand in my doorway and show gratitude to the universe, because even though I'm going through this breakup, there's so much that I have to be thankful for and grateful for. And so I'm definitely going to give my gratitude. Peace and blessings to y'all. I definitely look forward to meeting y'all back here later on. I'm almost sure that that's what's going to happen. I will post the time on Facebook because this is a work week for me. So listen, y'all have a wonderful day. I'll catch up with y'all a little later on, okay? Come on, Royals. Let's grace the world with our energy. I'll see y'all later.